Church New Vision for a Multicultural Generation. We want to thank you for coming and joining us on this Wednesday evening at 6:30, maybe 6:31 by now. But if you're on Facebook, push like, comment, and share. If you're on YouTube, push like, comment, and subscribe. One more time. If you're on Facebook, push like, comment, and share. If you're on YouTube, push like, comment, and subscribe. Also, if you're watching and you want to hear your name to let people know that it is live, all you do is type it in, and the IT person will put it up on the screen, and I'll call your name out. Okay. And also, push the bell notification to know when we are live. So we're live here, and it is 103 degrees outside, but it's 69 degrees in here. So I just thank you for joining us this evening and let you know that God is still in control. I would like to introduce you to this beautiful young lady who is 2 weeks into marriage right now, and her name is Kalia Curley Smith. Hello, how you doing?
Hello, Pastor Vivian. Thank you for having me today.
Well, thank you for coming. And like I said, I just met you, and I've been knowing your husband for a period of time, but just know that y'all just newlyweds. So we got to cut this thing short because I know y'all still on your honeymoon for after this all along.
We are. We're still in the honeymoon phase, and he has definitely been a blessing in my life.
Yes. Now, we know why you're here, but the idea is tell us a little bit about you, where you're from, and then we'll get into the information.
Okay, so of course, I'm Kalia Curley, now Smith. I'm from Akron, Ohio. We moved here back in the 80s to Waco, Texas. My father's job did. You may have heard of General Tire.
Yes.
So General Tire got us here back in the 80s. And we've been stuck in Texas ever since, and I would not change it. Ohio is cold, so I've been here ever since. It was me, my mom, and my siblings. All of us have located or stayed here in Texas so we could be close to each other.
Yes.
I'm a nurse as well. I've been a nurse for over 25 years.
Wow.
20 years with the VA, and I'm just loving life right now, enjoying being able to give back, being able to help others, and in healthcare has been my passion, and I'm still with it.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's a long time in nursing. Have you seen it change throughout the years of nursing, or still?
Nursing has definitely changed. One thing I like, the fact that nursing is getting more diverse. We're getting more diverse nurses. As far as the new evidence that's coming into play, evidence-based practice, the way we handle our patients, it's now more of a holistic approach instead of just, caring for the symptom or the disease. But it's also taking into consideration the family, their spiritual, religious beliefs. Everything you take in the body, the spirit, their physical, mental health. Also, as far as what they're eating. So we're taking more of a holistic approach in healthcare these days. So we're noticing that it's making a huge difference as far as people's health. So less disease and more health now focused.
Yeah. My wife would love you because she's a nurse. And when we go out to eat somewhere and she find out there's a nurse in the room, I just be quiet and just start eating and then eat some of her plate because she just talks about nursing all day long.
Yes, you can. It's so rewarding. It's rewarding.
Yes, and then the crazy thing is she used acronyms on me, and I have no idea what those acronyms are. And I like, honey, why don't you just say, hey, the person's doing well, or the person, may be trauma. Just tell me something.
Right.
And so it did. So when she want me to listen, then she just throw those acronyms in my direction, and I'm just trying to figure out, okay, it could be this, it could be that. I don't know what it is. Then I ask her, what is it?
We're not speaking nursing unless we're throwing in acronyms.
Right.
So it's like you have to kind of jump into our world because it's like that's just that's just what it is. It has become our everyday language.
And we have like 5 nurses that attend church here.
Oh,
so they talk about, they get into a little lingo, and I just let them handle it, and I just walk to my office and just let them have fun.
Yeah, because there's so much to talk about, in nursing. I can go on and on. Whether you're talking about, new ideas that have come up, a patient you've seen, not talking about them specifically, just a new disease or diagnosis or a new procedure. It's just interesting altogether.
Wow.
Always something to talk about.
So she's a nurse, and she's been nursing for 20 plus years.
Yes.
So she got it going on. So if you need a good nurse, You got Mrs. Curley right here, Smith, okay? Appreciate it. So you are here because there's an event that's going on this weekend in Temple. Tell us about that.
Exactly. So this weekend at 515 East Avenue D here in Temple, it's the old Wheatley Alternative School, we're having the mental health event, minority mental health event. And so let me put the correct name on it. It's actually the Baby Moore Campbell National Minority Mental Health Month is what it is, and we're celebrating it this weekend. And what we do is we're bringing awareness to the unique mental health issues within our community. While mental health affects everybody, not everybody has PTSD because of seeing, things happen on the street, seeing, people get killed on the street, or being policed, or you walking out your door and you're scared, already on pins and needles, wondering if you're going to make it home safe. So there's unique mental health issues that we deal with within our community. Bebe Moore Campbell, of course, was an advocate, a journalist, writer, and she made significant changes as far as how mental health is viewed within our community, which is why it was in 2008 adopted by the House of Representatives, or put in by the House of Representatives, to name it Bebe Moore Campbell Minority Mental Health Month.
Wow.
Because it is so important to recognize that it's not just an individual, but you're dealing with the issues that they have to deal with within their community, them just being a minority in general. So all of that has to take effect or have to be recognized when you're considering someone's mental health. And so again, this weekend we'll be having that from 11 to 1. Community, everybody is welcome. We have some psychologists from Baylor Scott and White. We have Pastor Benson. He is PhD clinical pastor. And he will be there as well answering questions from a spiritual, religious standpoint. Where individuals are like, well, the myths and beliefs or stigmas of, well, you just need to pray it away or something. But he'll be able to focus and address those type of concerns or issues within our community so that we're able to get the best health care, the right mental health care, and understand it in any way possible.
Wow. So you just named just a few that would be there. So there'll be a panel there, and is there a registration fee or anything?
There's no registration fee. It's free for the community. As a matter of fact, we'll be giving out door prizes. We actually will be having Dory Collins from the Unincluded Club. She'll have her greens there. We have vendors from a couple of the community clinics here, also the mental health clinics. So they're not just physical health clinics, but also the mental health clinics and hospitals here in the area will also be there. So we really want everybody just to come out, feel welcome. We will have food, and just enjoy yourself, get some information, learn. We're really wanting to break a lot of the mental health stigma, the stigma behind mental health. Because mental health is just as, if not more important than physical health, because there is a mind-body connection that everybody needs to understand. So just no cost, just come on out.
When you said food, it got my attention right there. Because you have to have food to make it level the things out.
Yes.
What are the times?
So it's from 11 to 1.
Okay.
We didn't want to make it too long because we know everybody has different things to do on a Saturday. But we'll be having, again, just really trying to put out there how necessary it is to eat healthy foods. So we won't have burgers and pizza, but we'll still have some good stuff. And it's free, for everybody. You come in, bring kids, your grandparents, your aunts, neighbors, everybody is welcome, all ages.
And so is this the first or this is one of many that may occur?
So this is actually our third annual. Third annual. We had a very good turnout. Each time we have different speakers. This time, again, we're going to have a couple of psychologists, as well as the clinical chaplain. Last time we had, just some speakers within the area. We had social workers. We had just local people that didn't have any degrees that wanted to talk about their experiences in dealing with mental health. So hopefully this will be something that we continue every year, and we need to support it and be out there so that we can show them that we are interested in our mental health. We are interested in health care for us in this area and making it more accessible. Wow. And by numbers showing up, it's showing them, hey, we want help.
Yes, yes.
We want to understand.
That's very important. So in other words, you're educating the community.
Yes.
And because, sometimes we feel like it's only for certain people, but this is for anyone
Right.
that's interested. All you have to do is put
Anyone.
one step in front of the other and get there and
Yes.
learn what's going on in your community. Not only that, but do something about it.
Exactly,
Wow.
exactly. We have to be our number one advocates, our number one supporters. We can't put the hands of our health in healthcare providers. We have to step up and say, hey, I want to know, and I want to be treated, and I want care, I want knowledge, I want information, and I want it accessible. You know, I don't want to have to drive to a facility that's 30 miles away 3 months down the line. Because believe it or not, believe to popular demand that, healthcare or the mental health stigma only occurs in minority, individuals or in certain communities, which is, again, is not true. Actually, it affects all communities, our community less, but we deal with it longer.
Wow.
We deal with mental health issues longer than other communities
Yeah.
because of the myths, the stigmas, the non-access to care. So that's what we're wanting to really bring.
So in other words, you got educated people that's talking about what they know. And this is not
Yes.
just a
No.
person off the street. This is real people
Yes.
that has been studying, and not only that, but has educated themselves in that field so they know what they're talking about.
Exactly.
Right.
And like I was saying, these are psychologists. These are PhD psychologists. So they've put the years in. They've put the training. So these are real people with real knowledge and real education and real information to support different techniques or so forth, things that they have seen while practicing. So yeah, these are the people you would want to hear from.
Wow, that is so
Yeah.
important. So the only thing we have to do is just take time,
Take time.
a couple of hours
That's it.
out of a Saturday
That's it.
to do what's need to be done. So we need to
Yes.
educate ourselves.
Yes.
And the education is sitting right there. The only thing we have to do is just step out there and just,
That's it. And that's
Wow.
where it starts. You taking the first step to get there.
uh,
You receiving the education. And then you putting it to use.
wow.
And spreading it throughout our community, even if it's not affecting you personally.
Uh-huh.
Someone around you may need that information. So even if you don't come just for you, you may find somebody, 2 days later and say, you know what, I heard about that. Or I know where you can go get help. Or I've heard it, I know someone that knows someone that can help you with that situation. Because a lot of times we think, oh, it's just stress. Stress is normal, but to an extent.
Right.
And then it starts affecting your mind, your body, your behaviors,
Wow.
your heart, your lungs. Everything is affected by the level of stress
So
that you maintain.
sometimes what you're saying is that we could have a behavior and don't know why we have it unless we educate ourselves and know why we're doing what we're doing.
Exactly. And let me give you an example, Pastor Beeman. Thank you for mentioning that. So somebody and they call it the knee-jerk response. You constantly walk by a certain house, not knowing why every time you walk past there, you get this anxiety in your chest. And you just think, oh, I'm just a little nervous. When in fact, it may be something that you've experienced. And there's something about that moment that triggers that. Where you thinking it's just normal. But then it becomes that anxiety continues to build unless you identify what that issue is. Different triggers that causes that response. Different tools to be able to calm that response, and then you're able to move forward.
Wow.
But by constantly living with that constant response, that high stress response every time that happens, that starts to affect other parts of your body
Wow.
and your mind without you even realizing it. So yeah.
Wow. So in other words, we just need some help.
Yes.
And so,
Yes.
Yeah. So in other words, like I said, just realize, and it's good to know that, sometimes we as human, we feel like everything's fine, but we know deep down inside it's not.
Right.
So our job is to find out, identify ourselves. In other words, look at ourselves and find out what's going on, and then let's try to work on what we need to do to correct that.
Exactly. And breaking the stigma that if something is wrong, something's wrong with you. That is not true. That is not true. Everybody goes through something.
Yes.
And so it's not the more that we can handle, the better, the stronger we are. You know, the more we handle, once we start getting help and learning how to deal with it, and being able to deal with it at a pace of ease, you know, instead of dealing with it at a 10, maybe dealing with it at a 6 or 7.
Wow.
And that's what mental health care can give you. And it's not necessarily through medication. There are people that need medication, which is okay. If you have diabetes, you're going to take your diabetes medication. If you have high blood pressure, you're going to take your high blood pressure medication. So, I mean, it's okay. But then sometimes just by getting the tools, speaking to a psychologist, again, or a social worker, getting the tools needed to help maintain that level pace makes a huge difference.
Wow. You know, you're bringing something up within me right now. I know I get anxiety whenever I take my wife to the mall, 'cause I know she's going to buy some clothes and spend my money. I'm just playing. Just playing, honey, just playing. You know. But it's all good. I got to have fun. It's all good. So on this, is there going to be maybe a breakout session? Could be, or don't know about it?
We are going to have Q&A at the end.
Okay.
So we're going to leave a whole hour for Q&A because the last few events we've had, Q&A has sometimes taken over an hour.
Yes,
and you know, went into, I mean, you know, other things we had planned. So we're going to leave a whole hour for nothing but Q&A. Anything you can think of, you can stand up and ask questions. You can be anonymous with it. We'll have a box where you can just stick your questions in the box if you don't want anybody to know about it. Our thing is that everyone gets the information they need. We're not trying to just throw information and make you swallow it. You know, we want you to be able to say what it is that you want to know and get the answers that you need to the questions that you have, and that's what's most important.
Right. So it's like a buffet line, and you choose what you if you don't want to eat the beets, don't eat the beets. Just get the lettuce. Get the kale, but not the carrots. It's just your choice. Okay, all right, that's good.
Take what sits with you, the rest, throw it aside. It may be for somebody else later. It may be for you later. It may not be for you at all, but take what you need.
Wow.
And that's the important thing. Everything's not for everybody, but there's going to be something there that's for you, which is why you came. And that's one thing that I want to express too. Find out your why before you even get there. Why am I coming here? Am I coming to learn something for me? Am I coming to learn something for somebody else? Am I coming because this is knowledge that I need so that I can pass on? You know, come anyway, but if you have your why before you even get there, then you're going to get even more out of the session, out of the event.
You just don't know, but you gave me about 3 sermons right there. You got about the why. I'm like, I think I'd use on my congregation, you know. Why are you here?
Yeah.
So, I mean, but that's good. I mean, you know how you can always learn from people. And scripture that backs it up, it says iron sharpen iron. I mean, what you know and what I know, we could put it together and we could get some out of you get a good answer. So that's awesome.
Yes.
I really appreciate you all sponsoring this. And this is through the NAACP
Yes,
from
the
Temple Branch?
Temple Branch
Okay.
NAACP.
And that's what President,
Zoe Grant.
okay,
Zoe
President
Grant.
Zoe Grant. I think I've seen her a time or two.
Yes,
So.
Zoe is wonderful. And she has really been growing the NAACP branch this year, you know, getting us out there in the community. We've gained probably over 50 members since she's become president. So, I mean, please, if you want to join the NAACP,
Okay.
you know, get involved. This is about in empowering our community, empowering minorities, you know, letting everybody know that they're important, that their issues matter, that they need to be seen, and and everybody is equal.
You know, I think I might need to meet Miss Grant, you know.
Yes.
because-
You do. She is amazing.
Well,
Yes.
she's a member here.
That's right.
I think I met her a time or two back and forth. And she's also the City Council, District 2.
She is.
Yes.
She is.
So,
And I am looking so forward to the good things coming to the east side. So
yes. But, I really do enjoy, you sitting down talking and, you spend time, to let us know what's going on in the community this coming Saturday. And that is July the
22nd.
2023. So it is live,
Yes.
folks. So it's not like, you're, if you miss it, just get in contact with Miss Curley, Smith, and she'll just give you a tape of what happened. Or will y'all be filming? Or I don't know.
We will not be filming this year.
Okay.
We did the first year. However, this year we won't. That's why it's really important that y'all come on out so that you don't miss anything, so you don't have to hear it secondhand, that you get everything on your own. But if you have to hear it secondhand, that's okay too. But if you get a chance, please come out.
And then by word of mouth, I heard that your husband does videoing and stuff like this.
He does.
Is that one of the reasons you married him? Because he could, well, I'm just playing, just playing.
It was for the photography. Yeah, he does.
I hope he's not listening. I just hope he's not listening, because I don't want him to fall apart. We just having fun, everybody. It's good to have fun. It's good to have laughter. The Bible says laughter is good medicine for our bodies. So that's why we do what we do. So we know about the NAACP. We know about the event that's going on this coming Saturday from 11 to 2 at Wheatley Elementary, which is 515
East Avenue D.
East Avenue D.
Yes.
Right across the street from Corinth Missionary Baptist Church, which is Dr. Ulysses Barnes is the pastor there. Yeah, so it's right there. So it's in that historic. They call it the Church Historic District.
Yes.
Yes. So
Right across from the new MLK grounds.
yes.
Yes.
Across the street from the new MLK grounds also. So it's right there.
Yeah.
So it's appreciated. And I see your husband in the back. He stood up when we talked about him doing the photography, and it was only for that. But it's all good, all that. So we're not about to close for just a little bit, but I love to talk about your husband. You and your husband. How did y'all meet?
So we met
Your
through-
version, okay? We know it's two sides coin, okay? So, and the reason I do this because I've been knowing this young man for a period of time, but I didn't know that you all was married, and I was a chaplain, still am a chaplain at a certain spot, and he was a worker there. And when I saw him, and I wait, I remember this guy. He's from this certain spot. And they said, yeah, this is my husband. I said, what? And like I said, 2 weeks in, right?
Yes,
2
2
weeks
weeks into marriage.
Yes, okay. So how did you meet this handsome young man that's back there watching us?
So I met him through a mutual friend.
Wow. Okay.
She said, well, I know this guy, and he's having a hard time dating, and I know you're having a hard
I
time
know
dating.
he was, okay, I'm going, that's all I'm saying. I'm just listening. I'm not ad-libbing, okay?
So she said, why don't y'all meet? And it's funny because she gave him my number in November, and he didn't call me until January.
Wow, it's long. What? I mean, he didn't have no phone or something, or just?
He was busy.
Okay.
And so we didn't meet until after January, even though, he had my number. And we talked for a while and went out on our first date at
So where'd
Barnes
y'all go
and
on your
Noble.
first date?
Barnes and Nobles.
Isn't that a bookstore?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Do they have a restaurant in there or something? Or? Okay, all right. Coffee shop? Something?
They have a coffee shop, but that's my
Okay.
favorite place. And that way, if we didn't like each other,
Right.
then we could just leave amicably, and I would at
Right.
least have had a good book.
Yeah.
So that was my thought. And basically, we just been together ever since.
That's awesome. I mean, you can meet love anywhere.
Yeah.
And so y'all met, and then at Barnes and Noble. That's the first time I've seen. Heard somebody met somebody at Barnes and Noble or Books A Million, but hey, you can meet him anywhere you choose. And
Yes.
that's great.
So meet me at Barnes
He's a
and
nice young man. He's a nice. So
Yes,
you
thank
made a
you.
wise choice.
He's-
I know
he
you
is. He's
you did have to say yes, and you did say yes, and it was very
Yes.
wise. So
Yes.
we
I don't
do
regret
commend you on that.
Thank
So
you.
we appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yeah, we don't want to make it look like he's just struggling and you're just excited, but it's both you all coming together as one.
Yes.
So that is
Thank
so
you.
awesome. So I appreciate you coming this direction and not only that, but giving us vital information what we need to know in this very hour. And the idea is instead of going to a certain area, you bring in all that information to the community.
Right.
And we're a community church. And so we like to take things to the community because without the community, the church couldn't exist.
Exactly.
So it is so awesome that, you all are doing this. And you're bringing people from different various places and various backgrounds and everything, and y'all bringing it to the community, and it's much needed because we hear things, and some things get on television, some things doesn't, and sometimes in the kind of stricken area of what's going on in that area, you don't hear too much about it. But then everybody's in the pomp and circumstance. But I'm so glad that you bringing it to the east side of town.
Yes.
I really do appreciate that. It's,
Yes.
it's so
Thank you.
imperative that you do that. And you and your crew that comes in, and I know you all going to have an excellent time. I will not be
Yes.
there. I have a family reunion this coming weekend, but I may sneak in and grab the food and get on back out and get some extra, get a pound or two. But the idea is, I appreciate you all doing this. Anything else you wanted to share?
No, just again, everybody, please come out and help support this initiative. Again, once they see that we do want access to mental health care here in this area, close by where we can receive adequate care, and be able to get our questions answered, then maybe we'll get a clinic right here. So please come out.
Yes, we're looking to put a clinic in the east side of town, but like I said, that's
Yes.
down the road, should I say, and that's usually my wife's field. That's not my field, but I'm just kind of spilling the beans a little bit.
That
but,
is so
but
good.
it's so good
So
that
good.
we can, bring things to our area,
Yes.
and uplift, and not only uplift, but give a thumbs up instead of a hand out. So I really,
Yes.
really do appreciate that. But I thank you for coming and visiting with us, and not only that, but giving us vital information what's going on this coming Saturday here on this part of town. And congratulations again to you and
Thank you.
your handsome husband that's back there
Thank
watching, and you kind of helped him out. You said he was struggling, but now he's not struggling no more because you kind of tilted. Okay, so I do appreciate that. But I know once we get off this air, I know he has a different story, but that's okay. I'll just take your story and leave it as
Yeah,
that.
we'll go my version.
Yes, we go with your version 100%. But thank you again, and appreciate you coming to Miss Kalia Curly Smith. Okay,
Yes.
remember that Curly was her used to be name, but now it's Smith. So appreciate you, and she's
Thank
married to the handsome Frank Smith that's in the background back there, and he's watching. So so let you know that men, too late. You're 2 weeks too late. So appreciate you, and we thank you. Appreciate you coming, and we hope
Thank
for success for this endeavor that you have in this coming Saturday. And appreciate you, and I'd like to have you and Frank back one of these days together, and we just talk about love, talk about marriage, and I know that this is detrimental, and this not only that, but you can help other couples that just got married and they're trying to figure this thing out. And there's books that's been written, but it's not like what's coming out of people's mouth how people got together, and
Right.
so my wife and I, we met at the hospital, so it just different ways, and
Yeah.
Barnes and Noble, I'm gonna remember that. Go to Barnes and go to Barnes and Noble if you're looking for a spouse, and it says the Bible says when a man finds a woman, he finds a good thing. So women, it's not for you to go out and look; it's for the men to find you, and make sure you get a good, godly man, and not a man just because he's handsome, look good, he got a job. Just make sure that he's check his resume out. So I appreciate that, and I know you did. You probably went to Facebook and Instagram and all these other different things and checked them all out, and probably drove where he used to live and look over there and make sure it's nothing wrong with that. It's okay. So appreciate that. But thank you again. Have a wonderful evening, and appreciate you. And we know that you will be back, you and Frank, and we just sit down and talk and have fun. How's that?
Thank you so much. I will.
Well, thank you. Appreciate you all joining us this evening, and knowing well that you got a lot of vital information, and there's several different topics that we talked about, but it's all good in the house of the Lord. God bless you. Have a wonderful evening. Take care. Okay.